Hey YouTube, what's old is new again. Azumarill got a bubble buff. So for history time, Azumarill was the #1 ranked Pokemon in GBL for 6, maybe 7 seasons. And because of that, then they nerfed bubble damage down to 7. And then it kind of fell between that and then like Registeel showing up, Trevenant showing up. So it just kind of was a bit worse and it dropped down the rankings. Still strong, but dropped down the rankings. Now they buffed bubble back up. So it has entered the top 5 rankings, and I think rightfully so. So you may be asking, like, why does one bubble like damage do that much for Azumarill? And it comes down to what I'm going to cover. The second part here is your IVs. And do IVs matter? I have a full video on do IVs matter that you should go check out. But the basically the analysis showed that like if you're within like if you're a Swampert in the Great League and the difference in your like maximum IVs versus like non-optimal IVs is like 1 level, you'll maybe lose like 1 matchup, if that. The difference between Azumarill, like the rank 1 is 0 something something. It's like 45.5 versus you're at, I put in my old IVs of 10, 15, 15 before XLs were a thing. It's a level 38.5. And just on that analysis here, as you can see, the first one is the optimal IVs, the second one is the worst. And as you're going to see, the difference in win losses is 6 here. So do IVs matter for Azumarill? Yes, they matter a ton. And that is why the bubble damage matters, because Azumarill is so tanky that you're able to, in most matchups, get through like 15, like in sort of like just neutral matchups. What are you looking at? 15, 16 bubbles. So getting an extra like 15, 16, 1 damage plus stab, like that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of add up there. So the next question is, does moveset matter? And I think I've already kind of gone over this. I'm using Play Rough, Hydro Pump, and Azumarill as the safe swap on this team. I think if you're going to use Azumarill as a safe swap, you kind of need Play Rough and Hydro. I would argue that Play Rough is a must. You can't really go Ice Beam, Hydro Pump because of Lanturn. Lanturn is everywhere. You know you're going to have to go against it probably sometime. You need at least something to throw neutral damage on it. So Play Rough is a must. So the question is, what do you want as the trade-off? Ice Beam or Hydro Pump? Here's the trade-off. Ice Beam will give you super effective against like Gligar, but also a super effective move to throw at grass. The limitation of this is, at best in the grass matchup, you are throwing Play Rough in neutral, and if it's a Venusaur, everything is resisted. So Venusaur, sort of like the Venusaur, Shadow Vic, any of those poison grass are carded like hard walls by this. So one would argue that it is better to maybe go Ice Beam, Play Rough. Why I like Hydro Pump is Azumarill's tanky enough that you're going to be able to tank a lot of what your opponents are throwing at you. Hydro Pump, you get just that stab bonus on it with a hard-hitting move compared to Ice Beam. So as I'm talking right now, I was like, well, I wonder what the actual stats are for that, because I am a learning channel. If I'm going to be talking about that, we should at least have the moves up to showcase that. So I won't put them on the screen here, but Ice Beam. So Ice Beam is a 55 energy for 90 damage move, and Hydro Pump is a 75 energy for 130 damage. So 1.63 for damage per energy for Ice Beam, non-stab, and 1.73 damage per energy, and that does not consider stab, so you get another 20% bonus on top of that. So Hydro Pump is just like the move that in any sort of neutral. Let me actually just see what Play Rough stats are. 60 for 60 energy for 90 damage, 1.5 damage per energy, right? So the worst one. So Hydro Pump, I just find that one, in neutral situations, if I can only get to one move, Hydro Pump is going to deliver the best bang for your buck. And 2, this was at a time where like Registeels, I still have that sort of Registeel in my mind as everywhere. If you had Ice Beam, Play Rough, anything on steals were just resisted. So I would run with Hydro Pump. I just find it safer as a safe swap, but you can use, it's up to you what you want to do. You can use Ice Beam if you want as a safe swap. You can also use Ice Beam, Play Rough, or Hydro Pump on the lead, whatever combo you want. I just think Play Rough is a must for Lanturn, which is everywhere. But the team, actually I should go over the team, and I should also put in the Shadow. So the team is Dragonair and Registeel. And the thought process behind the team was Okay, Azumarill is weak to grass. It's weak to electric. So Dragonair, just off the bat, is a nice answer for that. And then Dragonair's main problem is going to be weak to fairies. So then I put Registeel in as the fairy answer. So a balanced team, bulky, hard-hitting Dragonair, Azumarill, Registeel bulky, Registeel hits hard, Azumarill tanks a lot. Lanturn Lead. I mentioned dragons should be improved lots this year. I already saw Tho drop to double dragon team. This should not be surprising that dragons are strong this year. Uptick in lanturns, uptick in fires, some uptick in grass to beat them, uptick in mud boys. Dragonair is just, dragons in general would be pretty safe, right? Look at that. Lanturn into superior, just domination of what is this meta. So if I'm building a hard team, I think I'm gonna do like a meta analysis video come Thursday, and top for sure, dragons should be on your radar as one of the best in this league right now. So I grabbed a shield, one switch, Registeel on a grass. I am going to shield one, just because I can match shields with them, and because they are so like they hurt. They caught on something. What did they catch on here? Onto a Medi, but this is very nice. This is a pretty easy matchup here. Very nice to get that play rough off, and they had no choice. Dragon versus Dragon. Depends if my game does that little spinning ball of death at the beginning. We go right on CMP. They get the move off first. Okay. What are you going to do? I will lose switch here. I will come in Reggie and get a couple energy there. Out comes a Poliwrath. At this point, I'm just going to stay in here to get to a Zap Cannon. And then this will not have anything to throw at the Azumarill. So I lower the attack and then get out here. And they are staying in. And I think they're going to try and double skull me to lower my attack, which means they probably don't have an amazing answer in the back to me. So they tried one Scald, did not get the attack lower. Going for a second one. Or they may just go Icy Wind to lower my attack. I think I remember they just go Icy Wind, yeah. So Icy Wind, and that is why, right? They have a Gligar. So lucky for them, I do not have a double super effective Ice Beam. But Bubble's super effective. Hydro Pump is super effective. I can now just farm down. I'm going to start shielding everything here because I know that the Poliwrath only has water and ice type moves. So I am fine shielding up everything in this one. Come out with a shield. Come out with a play rough. I can get another play rough off. Or I think I also just ended on a Zap Cannon. Oh yeah, because they let it go. No, I ended on a lockdown. Lock on down. So I just let this go. It is another Scald, which third time's a charm, so almost. And then I lock on down. So Talonflame, right? I swear this is not a Dragonair. It is a Azumarill. So this is just recognizing right here. I'm just going to stop it because this is recognizing your different win conditions, your alignment, stuff like that. Vigoroth versus Dragonair. Vigoroth's going to outpace me to the moves. So Vigoroth and the one shield will win. I have a Azumarill that I can align on Talonflame. My other best answer for this is Azumarill. I can just like take resisted counters. I thought at the time my best analysis was Dragonair will win this in the 2v1 shield. I can shield twice and just win that. I can keep Azumarill alignment on the Talonflame, and then hopefully my Registeel can deal with whatever in the back. So they got one shield from me. I'm going to get one shield right back from them. They'll get to the second body slam. I will just shield and commit to the farm down, keep switch, have energy coming out. And what I think what you see here is something that beats Dragon comes in, if I remember. Nope. Nope. And so with that, I'm able to... I've done so many battles. With that, just keep outputting this damage, right? Dragon Breath damage adding up here. Body Slam, good chip. They're going to probably have to shield. I'm going to take them really low. They're going to have to throw. They eventually try and snipe here. But as you're going to see here, these bubbles... do I notice the bubble damage? Yes, I do notice the bubble damage, as you can see there. Like, those bubbles are shipping hard. So I get that. Just get the play rough off because they lowered their attack time, their defense ×3. So this will easily take out, even though it is resisted. I will now get to a play rough to take this out unless they throw. And then I think I come in Dragonair just to force them to throw, or else I take them out, and then I can lock on down for the win. So this was a really strong team. I did very well with it. Right? Your Registeel's only weak to, I mean, you only have one weakness in ground, fighting, and fire. Azumarill, grass, electric. Dragonair, fairy, ice. You really cover, like, in terms of like a try-hard team, this covers a lot of what I like against the meta here. So really strong team if you want to grind. I know this is an Azumarill showcase talking about movesets and its bubble strength and catch this move here. I know it's a showcase of that, but it is also a showcase of a try-hard team. There's your Lanturn, right? And this is why you run play rough, because you need something to throw at it. Bubble is obviously resisted, so boosted or like buffed or not, it's not going to do anything. They can just farm down here. Not much I can totally do. Well, another option would be in this matchup. It's one of those things where it's like I made a good catch just absorbing that foul play damage, which is not insignificant. The problem is, you know, if you have a fairy, particularly the fairy that everyone's going to be running right now in Azumarill, they probably have an answer for Azumarill. So it's kind of one of those like maybe dumb catches. I could have maybe stayed in that Dragonair Umbreon matchup and then just came in and like bubbled and got a ton of energy. But they have a Quagsire in the back, so kind of hard alignment anyways if I was going to lose switch. Not a bad lead. Again, one of those where Dragon Claw is going to take me out, so I have to shield. I could probably take this in the 2v1 again. But they give up into Sableye. And so I farm all the way to get to almost 2 moves here, hoping that I can just like grab a shield. So that way I can come and I'm probably going to shield. So that way I can probably come and just bubble down now with the Azumarill. Or am I going to force this last shield? I should have probably come into the Sableye matchup quicker. Sorry, the Azumarill matchup quicker. But I decided to stay in. At this point I've committed. And at this point I have to now stay in because I need Registeel on this. They shield, that's fine. I could take 1 Frenzy. I can't take 2. But they luckily give this up, thinking they're going to snipe, and that allows me just to get to a move and take it. So Dragonair against Whiscash. Kind of neutral, unless I have Blizzard, Skarmory. Okay, so this is just sweet. Right? I know what this backline is. I remember this matchup. I'm wondering if I still lost. So they went Brave Bird, so I can just go Focus Blast is more than enough for this at this point. Takes it out, but the game delayed me there. Hopefully I can get to another Focus Blast because this is good chip. I feel like they have like a Staraptor or some other flyer in the back if I remember. Which I was like, why would you ever come to Skarmory? Skarmory's a very, very, very risky safe swap. And then I remember it's because they have a second flyer with no moves to throw. I shield up 1 Mud Bomb. You don't need to shield up 1. I end up just letting it go and coming out with energy here. And I think they eventually get into, yeah, Staraptor. So I'm trying to chip with all the Dragon Breath and charge move damage that I can. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's just get in here and force this thing to, because Fly's not going to take me out. Let's just force it. Maybe it has to throw a Brave Bird. But then that Fly hit me and I'm just like, oh, that hurt a lot. Holy smokes. What is the attack stat on this thing? And I know it's a glass cannon because like these bubbles are neutral and like chipping like crazy. I'm going to force them to throw the 3rd if they have it, which they do, which is crazy. Because then I can Dragon Breath down because they're going to be dry on energy. But holy smokes, good. And I Dragon Breath down. What a fun closer. I haven't used it yet, but what a fun closer. I'm going to just look up the stat products on this thing while this thing goes. 140 attack, 90 defense, 124 stamina, 1581 overall. Not surprising. It is a super, super, super glass cannon. I feel like I misplayed this game if I remember. But yeah, a super, super glass cannon, Instaraptor. So if you're gonna play with it, hopefully you have two Pokemon that you can get shields with, because you will need shield advantage for this. But yeah, I have Toxicroak aligned here. Get the Play Rough off. Neutral. So if you never use Azumarill, it's slow. I call it slow and clunky. And that's essentially it, right? You have these bubbles, which is a 3-turn move. Takes 5 to a Ice Beam, 6 to a Play Rough, 7 to a Hydro. So on the first one, it's just like 18 turns worth to get to a Play Rough, 21 turns worth to get to a Hydro Pump. It just like, it's very slow and clunky. That's the only sort of drawback to Azumarill, but it's tanky, got a good moveset, decent coverage. So I think overall it's pretty good. I think this probably is the last battle. Nope, 330 in battles. Holy smokes. Okay. 2 more battles. Again, Gligar. Dragonair you should stay in with anything realistically, unless it's hitting like super effective against you. Because for the most part, in neutral matchups, you are going to do very well. And in this one, I should be able to flip this, keep this in the one shield and have alignment. It's not that alignment isn't the best. You kind of need alignment with this pack line. Azumarill, Registeel. It's just that they cover each other's weaknesses so well, right? Registeel fighting and fire, Azumarill, grass. So it's just like, I mean, and electric and poison, but again, Registeel will deal with the poison, right? So they cover each other's really, really well. So that's kind of why I like this team overall. You can have good like balance. Everything kind of covers each other. You have good balance, all strong on their own. So definitely a try-hard team worth grinding if you want. So Skeledirge comes in. I'm going to be able to, I'm just going to take this out here. I probably could have got one more bubble, but don't need it when you can just Hydro this thing into Oblivion. And then I know Hitmontop has already shown Stone Edge and Triple Axle, so I can just come in here, take the move, and take this out. Now there's one more, Triple Axle, and yeah, it's an interesting move set. Triple Axle and Stone Edge. Last one, Dragonair Lanturn. Yep, I'm pretty sure I labeled this easy. So Cresselia, yeah, so I just farm up, do a ton of damage, and then I'm going to absorb the charge move on Reggie. So that's kind of a smart play, right? Because you're good job, me. No, it's a smart play in the fact that like you're doing damage, you're doing good damage with the Dragon Breaths. You're getting a ton of energy generation that you have at least one in a bit move coming out, and you absorb all the charge move on a steel. So very easy there. These future sites are coming pretty fast though. So these future sites are coming fast. That's fine. They actually come back in Lanturn and give up switch again. And now I got the Zap Cannon off. I lower the attack. I already have 1.5 body slams loaded. This is looking good. They shield once. I get to the move again. I think they shield again if I remember. Yeah, and then I'm like, I'm probably going to shield back. Yeah. Whenever I see that, it's either one, inexperience, like vast inexperience, or two, you're just like super freaking weak to Dragonair in the back. So there we go. I took down both, and now Ninetales. Okay, inexperience it is. Maybe it's because I've shown Reg. I don't know. I don't know what the thought process was. Because I've already showed Reggie. Reggie's low enough though. In that matchup, my opponent should have just like sacrificed Lanturn, my Reggie's already pretty low, and then try to sweep with A9. But not that it mattered too much because I already had I have an Azumarill on the back, which will do fine against a Powder Snow A9. So that is it. Strong team, strong Azumarill. Yes, it's definitely bumped back up because of that bubble damage. So definitely a Pokemon worth trying out. So this afternoon, Kanto Ninetales. What fun it was to overheat everything again. How I missed that. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.